happy second day of school. What day is it? Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. I hope you're all having a great week so far. I wanted to pop in and give you some tips on cutting paper. We don't talk about paper enough, do we? But the Silhouette machine, Silhouette America, was created around paper, and then we got into vinyl and heat transfer. But paper is the core. Lots of people, lots still love making cards and scrapbooks and all kinds of stuff. So paper, while it's like what started Silhouette and everything, it is one of the most intimidating materials to cut because it rips, it tears, it sticks on the mat, it's a big fat mess, and if you're like me, you sometimes just want to go get your wine instead and make like a coffee mug or, I don't know, something else. However, it is very possible to cut paper. This is paper. You can see how intricate this is. I had this on the blog the other day as an example of how you can successfully cut paper. This is from the paper crafting bundle on FONTSY, which if you click through the blog post with the tips, you'll get to this. But what we're going to cut today is this little card, also all paper, also part of the paper crafting bundle right now. So here's the thing. I'm first going to give you some tips. These are all also on the blog, Silhouette School blog, which I linked to right up there. I'm also going to tell you the kind of paper that I'm using, which I, of course, bought like 2 weeks ago at full price on Amazon, and then today I see it's a gold box deal. So I actually threw that up on there too. Hi, Susan. And so this is the paper I'm using. It's 100 sheets. It's slightly textured. I don't know how well you can see that. Slightly textured. Right now it's like $14.99, which comes out to like 14 cents a sheet. So it's great. And it's full 12 by 12 sheets. So I actually cut both of these. You can see this was part of the same sheet. I just used the extras. So first tip, get yourself a light hold mat, okay? This is, you can barely even see it. This is a Silhouette cutting mat, but it is a light hold mat. The adhesive is not as sticky or as strong as the regular Silhouette cutting mats, which is great for paper because it keeps it on there so the paper is not slipping around. However, you can peel it off without any tearing or shredding or any of that stuff, okay? All right, so like I said, I've got all the tips on the blog. I'm going to throw a couple at you now, and then I want you to see how it cuts. Okay, so like I said, I recommend you get a good quality paper. All right, I linked to this. This is Coordinations. It's 65 weight cardstock, and I have the cut settings and everything. I just use the standard textured cardstock settings, and it works really well. You want to use a sharp blade. I actually prefer to use a brand new ratchet blade and just designate it for paper. Same thing like you would do for fabric, but I use a ratchet blade. You can use this in all of the machines, Cameo 1, 2, 3, Portrait 1 and 2, even the Curio, all right? Of course, you can use your auto blade if you want. So if you have a Cameo 3 or a Portrait 2, you could use your auto blade. I just prefer my ratchet blade for cutting paper because I know it's brand new, and my ratchet blade I've been using for 2 years now since I got my Cameo 3. Okay, so you want a sharp blade. Other things that you want to do, I'm just going through my list so I can give you, you want to make sure that before you start cutting, your mat is completely clean, okay? So if you have anything on your mat, what happens is when you put the paper down, if there's like a little scrap on there, that right underneath where your paper is that you're going to cut, it lifts it just a little bit, and your blade can't get the full pressure. And you'll notice that in the spot where the thing is on the scrap or the whatever is on your mat, you won't get a full cut through. So make sure your mat is completely clean. I'm going to give you a little trick I use for cleaning the mat, okay? Turn on line segment overcut. If you're not familiar with that, essentially what it does is when the blade cuts, instead of cutting and turning, it'll cut slightly past the edge. The blade will then pick up and cut back down. Obviously not that dramatically, but you can change the distance. And what that does is it doesn't curl your corners or tear your corners. So if you've got lots of little pieces like this, it constantly is picking up the blade and putting it back down as opposed to turning, okay? You can, some people say slow the cut speed down, some people turn it up. I prefer to have it around a 2, 3, relatively slow. Too fast will drag your little pieces, and too slow will do the same thing. So you got to kind of fine tune it. I'm going to cut, when we cut this, I'm going to cut it on a speed of 2 or 3. All right? Okay, so you can also double cut. Double cut or 2 passes is so your blade goes around twice. The problem with that, if you end up doing that, it will cut through, give you a nicer cut through any spots that may have missed on the first time around. However, with all these little pieces, you've got twice as many times to mess it up. So if you can get the force and the blade depth and the speed right the first time, test cut, people, you won't have to use a double pass. So I just like to cut with 1 pass, but double pass can help you. Okay? All right, test cutting for sure. All right, let's get started on this. Throw that stuff back there. This design that I'm cutting is that little bird greeting card, which, like I said, is also part of the paper crafting bundle on So FONTSY. I'm going to cut both pieces at the same time. So this is obviously 2 pieces. You've got the blue and then this backing here. So I'm going to cut them both at the same time. I will show you my monitor. So what you can see is that I've got 1 here and 1 here, and if I know that this piece, if this came in perfectly sized, is taking up boxes 1 to 6. So I just need to make sure that my base piece is no shorter than 6 inches, and then the other piece needs to go down in the bottom. So let's get that ready. All right, so I'm going to trim this piece of paper. You cannot see. I will go down here a little bit. Oh boy, you're a little crooked. I'm sorry that you're crooked. I don't know, something is wrong with my tripod, but we'll just adjust. Okay, so we need this piece to be at least 6 inches. Okay, if you have a paper trimmer, you can use that. I'm all about the pink scissors and the pink paper. Okay, so again, this is my light hold mat. Okay, and then, pick a contrasting color, whatever you want. I'm going to go with this orange piece. All right. And I always save my scraps because there's always little tiny things that you might need to use later. All right, let's see. I'm actually going to, I want to make sure the whole thing, I'm just going to trim this a little bit more. Again, you can use your paper trimmer. I'm being very much living on the edge here today. Okay, and that is going to start in 7, and so we're on 7. Okay, we should be good. Okay, so we got our 2 pieces here. I'm going to load this into my cameo. I'm going to pull you this way so you can see. Okay, turn this on. And if you want to pull out this bottom tray, you can do that. That will help your mat to stay straight. Another little thing, because if your mat is can you see how, you probably can't see. I pulled out the little, whoa, oh my gosh. Okay. Ah! You guys, okay. Sorry about that. These little things down here will hold your mat so it's more straight and it's not flopping down, which will also help to keep your paper from slipping. Okay. All right. Are we ready? Okay. Now I'm in the send panel over here. I've got segment line. I've got segment line selected, so it's going to cut past, and it's on a speed of 3, so this is going to take us a couple of minutes because I don't want to rush it. But we'll chit-chat while this is going, including talking about a giveaway that we've got going on. Okay? Oh, I didn't change the blade. So it thinks it's an auto blade, even though my ratchet blade is in there. It's not going to hurt anything. It just is taking a little bit of extra time. And you're saying, Melissa, you didn't test cut. Well, I actually did test cut. This was my test cut. Okay? Alright, so that's going, it's first doing the perforated fold line, and then it's going to go back and it's going to cut everything else. Okay, so while that's doing that, let's chat up here. So I don't know if you guys saw, but the Cameo 3s are now available in teal. So my friends at Swing Design and we have teamed up and we have a giveaway going on. That was on the blog yesterday, and I'll throw it up again so you can enter to win. Not only can you win the Cameo 3, the teal Cameo 3, but if you don't like teal, you can pick any Cameo 3 bundle from Swing Design that's under $269.99, which is the large majority of their bundles. So you can pick the black, you can pick the pink, you can pick the teal, the white. You can pick it if you want Oracal with it, if you want Caesar HTV with it, if you want sketch pen, whatever you want. They have, and it's worldwide, and so they'll ship anywhere, okay? And the Cameo 3, the teal Cameo 3s are going to start shipping end of this month, early September. So you just have a couple weeks to wait. If you decide to go with teal. So what else can we talk about? What else? There's other colors of the Cameo 3s coming out, and they will be out in the next couple of weeks. All the new products that I shared with you that were announced in May at the Silhouette Summit in Hawaii that I went to, those will be coming out over the next 2 months. I just got an email with dates on when those are coming out. If you're asking about when a larger machine is coming out, I have no information on if and when that will ever happen, but we have our fingers crossed, and I think we may be closer to it than ever before, so everybody just keep on crossing your fingers. And that is something that a lot of you I know are really hoping, but if it happens, it will not be for another year. So don't not buy a Cameo 3 if you want to upgrade, because if they come out with a larger machine, it's not going to be for at least another year, because they won't announce it until next May in Hawaii, and then it'll be another couple months, and that's a big old if, okay? Alright, so this is still cutting. I will put you down here, bring you a little closer if you want. Oh my gosh, my tripod is just not having it today. Alright, so you can see this light tack, well, first of all, you see I have these things up here that is holding my mat completely straight, so it's not sagging at all. I have no patience for cutting slowly. I always cut on like a 10. So this is driving me bananas. But it will give us a great result. So like I said, all of these tips put together, you'll be able to make these great paper projects. And the paper crafting bundle that I talked about that both of these designs are part of, there's 3D paper projects in there, there's cards in there, there's scrapbook segment elements in there, there's all kinds of nice paper specific projects for you. Alright, so hopefully you'll be able to see as this comes out. Now, some of the little pieces already popped out, and that's okay because those are going to be weeded away anyway, so we don't need to worry about that. Just cutting the base of the card, and then it'll come back down here, and it'll cut the insert. Thanks for those of you who've stuck with it. I know sometimes I cut all this stuff ahead, but I really wanted you guys to see how this cuts live. And by the way, I was getting ready for this live and stood up on this rolling table to get my Xyron, and then I got my Xyron down and I realized, oh wait, I can't even use it because, oh boy, I think the insert's going to be cut off a little bit. I didn't measure correctly. We'll see. We can probably save it. Yeah, we're right on the it's cutting right on the edge. Okay, now with any paper project, here's what I suggest. Peel up first. Can you see what I'm doing? Peel up before you take the mat out to make sure that it has cut through, and then take the mat out. Okay, so I'm going to unload this, and I'm going to pull you back over here so you can see how this goes together. Let's get rid of all this other stuff. One of these days I should show you guys like a time lapse of what actually goes on behind the scenes so you can see like how my real life is just, you know, a mess. Okay, alright, so got this paper. Some of these pieces are a little, we're gonna have to fix that. We'll get that. Okay, trim that a little bit. didn't cut too clean. Okay, so one thing that I would also suggest is peeling your mat away from your paper as opposed to the other way around. So what that does is it prevents your paper from curling as you peel it off the mat, okay? All right, trash. All right, this is our insert, okay? All right, so here's my mat. Before we get to this, I'm gonna show you how to clean this mat real quick. So, you can use a scraper like this and scrape everything off. But look, I have this little thing that I use for rhinestones, and you can do it, and then I just scoop everything right into it. And then you can dump it right in your trash can, just like that, okay? Kind of cool. Otherwise, you can just use this. All right, so just like I said, make sure your mat is clean before you do your next project. All right, we'll put that over there. And now we've got our paper. Okay, so I would use something sharp, tweezers, a little poker thing to get all these pieces out, okay? Because even still, they might not all fall out, especially when you've got really delicate designs like this, okay? So just be careful while you're doing this. And take your time. Where are my tweezers? You can see how small this is. Well, hopefully you can see how small this is. Okay? You don't want to rip anything. I really don't like when my Facebook Lives go super long, so this is driving me crazy, but I want you guys to see. And then you may need to keep if you have what are those little X-Acto, like a little X-Acto knife, you may need that as well. If there's any pieces that haven't cut completely, like you don't want to tear anything. I can see I have a little spot here. I don't know, for some reason it didn't completely cut through. I'm going to have to deal with that after. I don't have my X-Acto here, but I'll deal with that afterwards. Okay. There must have been something with this right here. I don't know why it didn't cut all the way through. Okay, I think we can save it. It's not perfect, but, right? That's how we all craft. Okay, all right, so I'm going to deal with that in a minute, this little area here that's not working correctly. But what you want to do now is you can glue this piece to the back of it, so your card, when your card folds in half, it shines through. I'm not going to glue it yet because I've got this to deal with. But that's how it goes, all right? Okay, yeah, so it cuts fine. You can see on this one it cut just fine. I use the exact same settings. I'm not exactly sure if the blade maybe had something in there. I don't know exactly, but or maybe it's just because I'm on Facebook Live and it doesn't like me, but we'll figure it out. I don't have my X-Acto here, okay? But my suggestion for how to get this together is to use a small piece of glue, double-sided tape or glue, and put it on the sides. You don't. The reason I was going to run this through the Xyron, and then I realized that it was going to be showing or be sticky on those pieces right there, so you can't do that. But you do need to put that in there so that you have basically a solid piece like that, okay? All right, so, Facebook Live, gotta love it, right? All right, so if you head on over to the blog, you can check out all the tips on how to cut paper successfully, like 90%, right? And if you want the paper crafting bundle, I'll throw the link up for that. And if you don't like paper, then that's fine. And if you want to get a paper deal, I also put the link up there for you as well. Okay? All right, guys. I hope you have enjoyed watching these cute little cards. I love these little bird cards. And learning about how to cut paper. Try it at home. It's fun. It's 14 cents a sheet. And so if you mess it up, then just whatever. It's like, I'll send you a dime and a nickel. Okay? All right. All right, guys. Have a great afternoon. I'll see ya.